and I want to start, okay, with Hugh Freeze. Okay, I want to start with Hugh Freeze, and I can't believe I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. Okay, I don't know why I can't believe it. I should have known something like this was going to eventually happen. Okay, Hugh Freeze in the last calendar month has a loss to New Mexico State. He has a catastrophic loss in the Iron Bowl, in which he was up 4th and 31. Everybody knows about that. They finished 91st in total offense under a head coach who is known for offense. Okay, and if I told you that just in a synopsis, while also going 7-5?
No, 6-6.
6-6. While also going 6-6 this year, if I told you that in, I don't know, July, you would probably say, ooh, bad year. Bad year, and even now, listening to that, you would probably say, damn, bad year, bad first year under Hugh Freeze, and I would tell you, nay. I would say you are looking in the incorrect places. If you look in the right places, you will see the right things required to win in this conference, the SEC. I see 2 5-star receivers in 2024, Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson, both of which you won over, okay, and beat out other SEC top elite recruiting programs. I see 2 flips from Georgia. DeMarcus Riddick was a known Georgia commit. Okay, what a lot of people don't know, unless you're subscribed over on patreon.com/Brooks Austin, was that Joseph Phillips had a sliding scale majiggy through the roof. All right, that dude was going to Georgia until about, I don't know, right before he made his announcement, and he is now an Auburn commit. Okay, you got 1 flip from Florida as well. Jamonte Walker, an outside linebacker edge rusher that was, I don't know, in the top 50 in the 24/7 composite, okay? So some elite recruiting going on. In a world of college football where your job as a head football coach at programs like Auburn is one of your primary jobs nowadays, okay, is to figure out how to convince them to utilize their funds for your benefit, okay? Who better in this world to figure out a way to get people to, and convince people to use their money to acquire talent on their football team? Who better in this world to figure out to do that than the guy that figured out how to get 5 stars to Ole Miss? 5 stars to Ole Miss, this dude did that. All right, and yeah, it came with some trouble. All right, it came with some trouble, but guess what? Lane Kiffin got all the access and legal ability to use money in the world nowadays and can't get 5 stars to Ole Miss. This dude did something, albeit illegally, this dude did something in Oxford, Mississippi that Lane Kiffin, a guy we all consider to be a top 10 football coach, couldn't figure out how to do and can't figure out how to do. He is portal Lord over there in Ole Miss and in Oxford right now. This dude got 5 stars to Oxford when it was illegal to do what he's doing now, okay? And he is doing it now better than he did then. You know how I know? Because I look up today, and this dude's got KJ Bolden scheduling last-minute visits to Auburn after 6-6, after New Mexico State, after 4th and 31. This dude has KJ Bolden going on visits. Boys, Auburn ain't a problem now unless you're recruiting and on the trail. But Auburn gonna be a problem, and Auburn already is a problem on the recruiting trail. That's what I learned the last, 9 months under the Hugh Freeze experience.
I mean, heck, they just also recently flipped the number 1 wide receiver in this year's class as well.
Cam Coleman.
Yeah, Cam Coleman. So they're getting dudes. And we kind of got a sense of that, as you mentioned, throughout the offseason of like, Auburn's starting to heat up a little bit on the recruiting trail. They're being noticed now. Like, that is a logo that we're consistently seeing.
Dude, he got in late with the KJ Bolden stuff before the original commitment. Like, there was a sway for Auburn momentum, right? Uncle Mo started popping his head into the recruitment of KJ Bolden towards the end. So, and it is NIL. Don't get me wrong. They are definitely one of the, I'm telling you as a guy who knows, all right, this isn't speculative. This is a guy who knows, talks out in the streets. The streets be talking. Auburn is playing. All right, Auburn is definitely playing ball like they should be, okay? But it's also a byproduct of work. This dude was going to KJ, right? He was last-minute visits to KJ's house out here in Atlanta. So this is a guy that has not only prioritized recruitment, knows how to recruit, but clearly knows how to convince his boosters that I'm the guy you need to give that money to because I know how to get players here.
For sure. I mean, what he's doing on the recruiting trail is extremely scary, and it's going to be a problem for a while. But you also have to at some point develop that talent into winning games. I mean, we just went through this with Jimbo Fisher 2 years ago, where he had the #1 recruiting class ever, and was basically doing it for similar things through NIL, and it was like, hey, A&M's going to be a real problem here, and they kept going 6-6.
Which, let's be honest about it, Robert Nkemdiche, still a first-round draft pick despite everything that happened to him. 28th overall, I believe, to Arizona. I don't know how my brain does that. Will you look that up for me and see if that was correct? Laquan Treadwell, first-round draft pick. Laramie Tunsil, despite everything that went on with Laramie Tunsil,
that was wild.
Still a first-round draft pick. So all of the development still was there. He clearly turned 5-star prospects into first-round draft picks, and that alone, serves purpose.
Yeah, I mean, his proof of concept and his work certainly shows. I'm just saying that you got to keep doing that. You have to develop these players that you're bringing in.
How messed up is my brain?
You were 1 pick off. Is 29th.
Damn.
But you got everything else right.
Is that's 2014? No, 2017 NFL draft?
2016.
16, because 16 was the last year Hugh Freeze was at Ole Miss.
Fun fact, Robert Nkemdiche and myself were on a recruiting visit together to Ole Miss.
Nice.
Had the weirdest hands. I'll show you the picture after the show. He had clearly broken his hands because his bottom 2 fingers were like bent, bending outwards.
So you could do a really good Star Trek hand signal thing.
This one?
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah, for sure.
I can't do that.
I can't either.
I think it was because, defensive linemen like to tape their fingers, like the jab, like the whatever. Okay. What are they called?
I don't know. I'm not that nerdy.
The Star Trekkers. Okay. They like to do that. So maybe it was part of that. But yeah, Hugh Freeze out here doing the thing.
I mean, and two, if I'm an Auburn Tiger fan and I'm kind of looking back on this season, the first thing you want to see, in my opinion, in a first-year head coach is you want to see your team be competitive in some football games. You want to see some type of inclination that, okay, we're improving compared to what we were last year. But you most importantly want to see, okay, we're getting into rooms. Our recruiting is starting to pick up. Our logo is being put into more top 5 and top 3s or whatever. Our name is being mentioned and linked to these top players in the country. While also, hey, we were in a fourth-quarter fight with Georgia and Alabama this year. So those are massive pluses and something that I would be looking forward to moving forward.
Can you explain to me why he's so confident in his quarterback? Because they're not active. They're not active in the quarterback market.
Peyton Thorne has another year of eligibility?
He does.
I mean, do we know they're not active in the
They're not in the Brock Vandagriff sweepstakes.
That's true. That's a good point.
I mean,
and he is. I mean, maybe that's just me thinking my valued opinion is worth something. But he seems like the perfect guy for Hugh. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. He can throw and he can run.
I mean,
that's what they want to do.
Let's also be real though. We're 1 day into the portal talks.
Correct.
So I mean, there's still plenty of time for maybe a guy's going to come up that the guys that we've wanted or the guy we're waiting on.
I think he's been on record though saying, because Auburn fans have commented and talked about how as if he does not want. I've seen it on social media how he does not. He has made it clear we're not in the market.
Yeah, and I feel like if your team is in the market for a quarterback, you've already been mentioned somewhere to someone's name. Anybody
South Carolina was linked to KJ immediately. You know why? Because they want him. All right, so they're going to talk about them being linked. They start